You're at IKEA wanting a new chair. You start browsing and end up with a sofa, rug, lamp, plants, and pillows. But as you check out, you feel confused. You bought way more than you expected. Many people have this exact same experience at IKEA. So how does IKEA get you to spend more, waste time, and submit to their evil manipulation schemes? You're online looking for a new chair for Timmy, your son. You spot a shiny new deal on the IKEA website for a very cheap one.
Honey, this is an absolute bargain. €19.99 for a chair.
Amazing, that's perfect for Timmy. Where is it?
Let me have a look.
But then you realize the nearest IKEA is 1 hour away.
It's so far, but I'm willing to go. For Timmy, I'll head there now.
When you decide to shop at IKEA instead of a store closer inside the city, you don't really think about the price of petrol that it actually costs to get to the IKEA, which obviously all keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. It just completely slips your mind. It's a subconscious decision that you don't really realize you're making until you've made it. IKEA do this on purpose. You see, their whole model is about cheap prices. Any furniture you want, the cheapest version will always be at IKEA, but that is how they lure you in. You're much more likely to make that decision of going to that IKEA in the first place because of those cheap prices. It's IKEA's whole stick. Cheap product equals customers, even if the product is ultimately no good. It's now 2 p.m. After an hour of driving, you finally see IKEA in the distance. You start seeing people filling their cars with loads of shopping bags and boxes, making you realize this isn't going to be some short pop-in, pop-out trip for the one item you want. You find a parking space, and the first thing you notice is that there's few windows and it's just a big box. It doesn't look like an ordinary shop.
Hold on, am I at the right place? What an ugly building.
But just like before, the ugly design is on purpose. It looks like a massive warehouse. All IKEAs are made to look very similar, to make them feel cohesive, familiar, and iconic. There's few windows again to remind you that this isn't a quick place to shop at, to prevent you from realizing the time, a bit like what casinos do, making you spend longer inside the store, which means more time to convince you to then buy more products. And it's also much cheaper to build, increasing their profit margins. You begin to walk towards the entrance and go up the stairs. At this point, you've officially reached the point of no return. The maze begins. It's not just a layout, it's a psychological trap. You're expected to walk through the entrance and spend as much time as possible looking around the set direction they laid out for you. This is called the Gruen effect. You have no choice from this point on really anything that you do. The maze is split up into 3 zones. Zone 1 is the showrooms. As you look around the first zone, you see beautiful showrooms with everyone's dream home. Kids playing around, teens testing out the comfy beds, adults pretending to cook.
Boy, mate, do you see the giant arrows on the ground? You're supposed to walk forward. Stop standing around.
The goal with this is to make you imagine the beautiful showrooms are your own. At this point, IKEA doesn't just sell furniture, it sells a better version of your life. Each one is carefully created like a little movie set. They're designed to make you feel emotion, even if you don't buy the whole room. You'll at least want to buy a part of it. IKEA realized 50% of their purchases were impulse buys, which means you bought it with little thoughts behind it, which is exactly what they want you to do. They want you to do that.
Oh, it's only €5. It won't hurt to buy this.
All items have prices displayed with strange numbers. It's a small psychological trick to make you think the item is not as expensive as it is. Look at this lamp for example. €95 looks a lot more like €100 to the eye from first glance, as opposed to €79.99, making you more inclined to buy it. As you walk in the market hall, you see these bins here, filled with cheap products in abundance to sell, and in turn, produce. Psychologists call this the bula bula effect.
Oh, that's cheap. I'd be stupid not to buy it.
In retail, abundance signals cheapness. Even if you don't need it, your brain will make you think you do. You keep walking around, having fun without care in the world on what time it is. Maybe even creating scenarios in your head for items you've never needed before that you probably will never need. Time is ticking, and you forget the reason you're in IKEA in the first place. They put their most popular, smallest, and typical items people mostly come for at the end of the showroom maze, sort of near the market hall on purpose. This is where the kids' items are kept. Shopping is only done once you've seen everything to act upon this impulse buying trend that IKEA has noticed. Your cart is now full and your stomach starts rumbling as you see the cafe in the distance.
Mate, try these bloody meatballs. These are genuinely the tastiest thing I've ever eaten.
When you're tired and exhausted after walking for 5 hours shopping, without even noticing it's become dark outside, you subconsciously let your guard down. That final blow of them convincing you to eat out is very easy for them to do so at this point. They can get away with very minimal adverts. The cafe had you hooked the second you entered the store. They already knew you would eventually be hungry and let your guard down. Because who doesn't want some iconic meatballs when you're finished shopping? It's 7 PM and you just finished your food. You pass through all the bright lights and fancy colors to the stairs and pay for the many items in your cart. Until the lights start to dim, color slowly disappears and music stops.
What's happening?
When we think about IKEA, we think about the top floor, the showrooms, the support staff, the cute artsy vibe they give off. But beneath lies the warehouse, where the products you just bought are actually stored. The warehouse is intentionally ugly. They remove its happy atmosphere on purpose. Just a room filled with simple brown boxes. The real IKEA. It hides the actual quality of the product. You can't actually see what the product looks like outside the box until you buy it. For what you know, it could look very different from the examples you saw in the images, which it often does because you have to build it yourself. Any flaws can be written off as your own wrongdoing, even if it's not.
Where do I go for some help?
Staff here are rare. If you do catch one, they're only there for a specific task, not to help you, unlike the top floor. Item codes have replaced human language here, making you find the aisle, find the bin, and heavy lift the box yourself. IKEA is effectively offloading the most expensive part of retail, the labor, onto you, the customer. But the difference is, you're paying for it.
Aisle 34? Bin 12? Where the hell is that?
You're not actually thinking about, do I need this? Do I want this? You're in a confused state of mind. You're thinking, where do I collect my shopping from? And if you make a mistake and do pick up the wrong box, you're paying for it and you won't notice until you open the box. Since IKEA is so far for most people won't bother to return it. Similar box sizes, similar names. It's a mistake that's too easy to make. IKEA don't want to help you. Once you pick up the box, the decision has been made.
Honey, did you get the chair?
Thank you so much for watching. If you could subscribe and maybe drop a like on the video, I would appreciate that a lot. Special thanks to Nedas, James, and Celina for the voice acting as well.